saying her name cannot be found among PhD graduates because she changed it at Home Affairs. However, she's yet to provide proof of her PhD. Lyoka, who holds a master's in economics, says she will not be taking the allegations lying down.
Definitely responding legally. I think that this is tarnishing on someone's personality and, and has implications on their, professional life. And it's an unfortunate story. It's a story that is run on the front page, I believe. I haven't seen it yet. And it's tarnishing, I guess.
Gauteng parents have urged the Education Department to address admission pressure and overcrowding in its schools. Thousands of frustrated parents were queuing at education district offices across the province to contest admissions. Due to security threats posed to him and his teammates ahead of the World Cup this week. Oren Singh reports.
The SA Jewish Board of Deputies claim Cricket South Africa have been unable to provide substantial evidence of a security threat posed to David Tiger or any of his under-19 teammates. This follows a meeting between SAJBD and CSA earlier today. SAJBD National Chairperson Professor Karen Milner addressed the media shortly after.
We requested the security report. They informed us it wasn't a report, it was a security briefing.
She says the lack of evidence forthcoming from CSA leads them to believe their decision is anti-Semitic.
Every single time we challenged them on the safety issue, they shifted the goalposts. And that is why we understand this as deeply anti-Semitic.
The issue around Tiga has made international headlines, with CSA being sharply criticized for their decision. Oren Singh, Eyewitness News.
A cloudy Wednesday in store for Gauteng tomorrow with widespread showers and thunder showers. Joburg dropping to an overnight low of 17 degrees, peaking at 25. Pretoria 18 and 26. Vereeniging 18 and 25 as well. Lerato Huffler, Eyewitness News.
Eyewitness News on 947. For more, click ewn.co.za.
#MSW. You may begin to feel anxious or excited.
Honest, deliberate, engaging, uncensored.
High dosage administration can cause adverse reactions.
And most importantly, independent in mind and execution.
This is a normal response. Are you ready?
Marawa Sports Worldwide.
It has the experience to do well. It has the leadership to do well. It has the structures. And it's not the organization yomkokotelo.
And then the MC board. Babamba young skolo. Ibadun young applying young skolo.
There's a big tournament that we all having to look forward to.
This is the 34th edition of the AFCON.
Third start here. Look at this for an opening strike. 4 minutes it took Seko Fofana to put Cote d'Ivoire into a perfect start. There's only 1:30 on the clock and Egypt lead already. And that was blisteringly quick from Mustafa Mohamed.
Legends of the game, Don Kumalo, Majans Mutale, Debza Moloi are here. We almost lost you then to Argentinian people.
And those guys, they don't compromise, but shy Spanish.
Hello, what here? Dos croissants.
What's the deal? Dos croissants. But I only lose the snacks. Once I kiss me, hug me. Hug me, kiss me.
This story has been so long, it's been so crazy, it's been so wonderful. I start by thanking the crazy Africans who followed me to this country, and thank you to everybody else in this category. Thank you to these people. We did it, baby. We did it.
The winner is Lionel Messi.
Lionel Messi.
Oh, yeah. Robert Marawa, live on 947. Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live.
#MSW.
Oh, that a crazy return back onto your airwaves. It is the brand new one for the brand new year, 2024, 16th of January. You know what, from Trevor Noah winning big to Lionel Messi winning big, whichever one you want to look at. We are back live on your radio. Welcome to it. Hashtag MSW on 947, wherever you are around the country, the continent, or the world. This is where we're going to give you your keys to the Africa Cup of Nations, more especially. But we are always interactive. 060-708-0484 if you want to be a part and parcel of the show. I can't even imagine how many things we've missed during the break. So much has happened, but then let's take it back to just last night. Lionel Messi, the best football player in the world, again, according to FIFA.
And the winner is Lionel Messi.
Unfortunately, the winner is not with us tonight. So someone's going to have to take the trophy. Thank you very much, sorry. So shall I?
I think you should.
I mean, I came. I actually have two reasons for taking it. Is I never won it, so I'll keep it. And you're a Tottenham fan, right? Yeah,
are you going to say something?
No, so that's the other reason, because you don't usually get your hands on a trophy, so I'll take this.
Ouch, you're a Tottenham Hotspur fan. She says yes. And Thierry Henry says, you don't really get to get your hands on any trophy. What a low blow, man. But congratulations, Argentinian captain Lionel Messi winning the Best FIFA Men's Award in London last night. There was also Inter Miami's Messi, edging out City's striker Erling Haaland, with PSG's striker Kylian Mbappe coming in third. A lot of people having a lot of things to say. And within a couple of seconds from him being given that award, on social media platforms, on X, robbery was the top trend. And I wondered, where's there been a robbery? And I think the whole world was just saying, come on. You can't have won everything that Erling Haaland has won individually or collectively and not be the best player in the world. So I don't know where you sit as far as that one is concerned. But it is what it is. We congratulate the dynamic Lionel Messi for doing it all over again. You know what are we excited about? I think we're just excited about the fact that in a couple of hours, we are going to be watching the African showpiece, the Africa Cup of Nations. I don't know what your expectations are for Bafana Bafana. Hey, man, they began their journey. Africa Cup of Nations. When last did they win? When last did they win Africa Cup of Nations? Let me just take a wild swing. Eddie, this is a quiz. When last did Bafana Bafana win the Africa Cup of Nations? Give me the year.
1996.
1996, ladies and gentlemen, and he is absolutely correct. It was 1996. He gets to win a big prize tonight. You know what your prize is? You know what your big prize is?
I'm waiting, Mr. Marawa.
Do you know what your prize is?
No.
You win big.
Money.
You get to win big. Do you know what the prize is? Do you know what the prize is?
Please tell me the prizes.
You get to spend the night at your house.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Legends of the game, Doc Kumalo, Majens Mutale, Debza Moloi are here. Dr. Kumalo saying that one of the former players is a pastor. Who's a pastor? Please, just elaborate, just help us there, boss. Because I did not know this.
Always when there's get-together, Legends game, gents, I'm sorry, I'm not available. I won't be able to attend because I've got church. How? Pastor Debza?
So, Valelisa pray.
Athi lama prayers.
Angisafundi lo fuyo. Sengifunda ekugcineni. Amen.
Hashtag MSW. Hashtag MSW. Marawa Sports Worldwide, covering Africa Cup of Nations Cote d'Ivoire 23. All of the action, all of the time. Hashtag MSW AFCON.
If you want to check out our guests tonight, go onto the YouTube channel and you'll find each and every one of them. They geared up for a conversation that you are going to be a part of wherever you're listening to the show. Let's give you a quick update, though, because there was a big VAR decision just before the game ended. There's been a lot of VAR decisions, big talking points within the Africa Cup of Nations, but Burkina Faso getting a penalty in referee's optional time. They converted to win against Mauritania. So final score, Burkina Faso 1, Mauritania 0. So the game coming up next is going to be our neighbors, Namibia. They're going to be playing against Tunisia. Then South Africa takes on Mali in the later game coming up later on tonight. That's at 10 o'clock. But the Bafana coach, Hugo Broos, saying that his side is well prepared to face Mali in the tournament opener tonight. As we said, 10 o'clock kickoff.
You know, there's always a preparation, but you're looking forward to play. So we are aware that we have a tough opponent tomorrow with Mali. At the other side, we believe in our chances, and I hope that we can achieve our best level so that we can win the game, because it's very important for a tournament like this that you can start with a...
Hugo Broos saying that, yeah, they're ready. What about Bafana striker Percy Tau? He's going to be very key for us. His experience, the quality that he possesses. And he could come up against his Al-Ali teammate, Ali Odieng. He admits, though, that they will be coming up against a very, very tough opponent.
And I think we've handled that pretty well. I mean, most of the squad is now used to traveling and playing outside the country. So it's those that are in South Africa, they don't know what we are going through. I think we've handled everything quite well. And then we are looking forward to the games. The pitch is great. And then now we are playing against a difficult side. Our group is difficult. We still have Namibia and Tunisia also. So we are looking forward to all those matches. But then we do believe in ourselves. We are not overconfident. We are grounded. But then that does not take away that we believe we can do something special. We want to do something special. That's the bottom line.
Something special in so many cities around the Côte d'Ivoire. And if you're just joining us, this is going to be your journey within the Africa Cup of Nations right here on #MSW. What cities are involved, man?
Marawa Sports Worldwide, taking you around the All-Africa Cup of Nations Côte d'Ivoire 23 in Abidjan, Bouake, Koroko, San Pedro and Yamoussoukro. #MSW AFCON.
Yeah, that brings me now to the first Africa Cup of Nations to be held in Ivory Coast in 4 decades. That's as old as all my guests here, huh? 4 decades. Well, it did get underway this past Saturday. Great spectacle. I thought great opening ceremony. Hey, one of a unique opening ceremonies that we had. It's the 34th edition of the biggest football showpiece on the continent, with 24 teams that are going to be wrestling each other for that lucrative trophy. It's also a journey that will last until the 11th of February this year, when the world will know the new AFCON champions. Also, Senegal getting off to a great start. Will they be able to defend it? Now, from some of the big giants biting the dust in the opening fixtures, a couple of players have been, traveling with private jets, chartering them through, late arrivals on Nana for one. Everything in between has been happening. Our very own Bafana kicking off their campaign this evening. Your expectations as your WhatsApp voice notes keep coming through. Do send them through to us. So much more to talk about. That is why we bring in the experts themselves. Shumba, football development and African football expert, Edible Dinya, who's won a competition already here on the show. We'll start off with him. Eddie, good to see you. Welcome and good.
Good to see you too, Mr.
No, I was going to say good something, but I see your cap and I stopped.
No. It's I'm just trying to.
I got a shock.
No, don't worry about that one.
Those guys, they like topping the table when things begin, and then come somewhere around towards the end, mid-season.
That's why I'm here to get the blessings, and then I'm going to take it upon them, and then we're going to go.
No, but you can't get the blessings though, because
no,
not from here. Who's top of the team? Who's top of the table right now? Which team is there?
Exactly.
Yeah, but you're not going to get the blessings from here. Wrong place to come through. AFCON underway. What's been your biggest major surprise since the tournament started?
1957 to 1997 to 1978, it was called the Abdallah Salem. 1980 to 2000, African Unit. 2001 until now, it's called the AFCON.
So you were there in where? 1957?
From the beginning.
I can see.
From the beginning until now.
You hold your age very well.
What can I do? I love this game. It's around. So far, I'm very impressed with some of the teams, and even though we were expecting to get to be entertained by beautiful game. And I will talk about Senegal, because remember, when I said Senegal is going to win it again, the defending champs. And I think from the beginning, Ivory Coast, they won the game, which is important, 3 points.
Yes.
But if you talk about the performance-wise, it wasn't that great.
What's been the most entertaining game for you? Exciting from beginning to end.
Did you watch Senegal?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, from the beginning until the end.
Yeah.
It was make everything. You know, when you talk about football, you're talking about how the combination plays, how the team operates, where are the goals coming from, who's creating them. Everything was there. Everything was there. But with Ivory Coast, yes, the goals were there. But then if you look about entertainment, like what I was saying, Senegal, I didn't see much of it. But the fact that they got the 3 points, which is important. But we talk about Senegal, entertained. They entertained. It was from the beginning until the end.
Did you see defending champions in them? Did you see, come the 11th, a team and a country that's going to lift the trophy?
Yes, absolutely. You look at the players that thing started. We're going to talk about Kamara.
Yes.
Ooh, that boy, the 20-year-old playing for Mets.
Scoring a brace.
Ooh, what a fantastic player.
You saw my favorite headline was lights, Kamara, action.
Yes.
And the tournament had started for him.
And people already are talking already about that goal.
Yeah.
That it's going to be the goal of the tournament.
No, not yet. Too soon, boss.
That's what I said. Yeah, but they are talking about it. That was a cracker.
You saw
that was a cracker.
You saw the overhead kick. Great bicycle kick. Offside. Would have been the tournament straight.
Offside.
Yes, offside.
Offside.
So while you were talking about, especially the Senegal one, I saw Timothy Batabaria just saying, no ways.
Ooh, I would love him to answer that.
He says, no ways. You were talking about Senegal going on to win it and what a great game it was. He was shaking his head. He was like, no way. TB Consults Chairman, African football analyst, legend in his own right. Tim, good to see you in the new year.
Good seeing you. Compliments the new year.
Thank you so much, man.
Yes, I think the gap has been closed. At this moment in time, I think everyone, like even Dina, could not tell us who is on the top of the EPL because we are on the African Cup of Nations. 34 edition.
We must change that cap of his. Right?
So at this moment in time, I think football is wonderful to watch at this moment in time. Yeah. Until now, we have not seen any underdogs or a team that is buckling under pressure. I'm seeing a high level of tactical, organizational display on the field of play. Yes, we have had issues. For example, Senegalese coach complaining about playing the game at 2 p.m. because of the weather. But we are Africans. We have been able to adopt. Opening ceremony was very marvelous.
Yeah.
African culture on display. Yeah. It not leave out Coach Kondo of Mozambique displaying all his feathers on his leg as they played Egypt. And I think that's what makes Africa. But I think Ghana, playing against Cape Verde was one of wonderful games that has been on display.
But also Mozambique, Egypt.
Yes, definitely.
For a Mozambican perspective, in terms of what they brought onto the table.
Exactly.
I mean, I jotted it down as one of my top 3.
Look, if you look at Egypt, you're looking at, how many local players are they being fielded? We have got over, 34 PSL players being represented in the African Cup of Nations. I think kudos to the PSL. I think we need to market, the PSL to get more African players in here to be able to prepare them for Europe. But over and above, I think we have got Andrea Ayew getting onto 8 AFCONs, joining the likes of Rigobert Song and Ahmed Hassan. If he happens to score, he'll set his own record. But again, we don't know whether it's going to be a calamitous exit in the group stages again. But they can still beat Egypt to qualify for the group.
I mean, he came off the bench and he was due to make an impression, but I think he was just equally disappointed. Good to see him and Jordan still going, full, strong and energetic, displaying the kind of energy and resilience that the father, Abedi Pele, displayed back in his heyday. So, I mean, I think a great point to really highlight as well, Timothy. But we're going to come back after the break. We'll introduce our third guest. As I said, social media, open for comments. It's Bafana Day. They take on Mali later tonight.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live at the same time.
#MSW.
There comes that 2020 more mood again. That back-to-the-grind madness that only macro can calm. With deals like Asus 15.6-inch X515 Intel Core i3 laptop at 5,999, save 1,000 Rand. And Trojan Spin 140 spinning bike at 2,999, save 1,000 Rand. Shop at Macro, online or in-store today. Promotion valid until 21 January 2024. T's and C's apply.
Make the most of summer with Specsavers' unbeatable sunglass offer. Introducing our exciting buy one, get one summer promotion. Get a free pair of branded single vision sunglasses up to 3,200 Rand. Choose from top brands like Police Eyewear, Hugo, and Carolina Herrera. To get your free pair, simply purchase a comprehensive eye examination, frame, and prescription lenses. Visit us today or book online. Specsavers, for affordable eye care and a whole lot more. T's and C's apply.
Hey guys, do you experience symptoms of chronic subclinical systemic metabolic acidosis? That's medical terminology for raised acidity levels in the body, leading to heartburn, indigestion, headaches, joint pain, and high uric acid levels. Our diets make acidity hard to avoid. Fortunately, A-Vogel Multiforce can help your body clear excess acidity. Simply taking A-Vogel Multiforce every day supports the body's healthy acid-alkaline balances.
Some people imagine a lifetime of comfort. Others live it. Thanks to Alliance, quality residential and commercial air cons at affordable prices with a 5-year warranty. Heat pumps for the perfect pool, jacuzzi, and alternative water heating solutions. Our 14 years of proven reliability means quality products at affordable prices. With long-term service backed by 4Ways Air. Live a life of comfort. Experience the Alliance difference today. Go to allianceair.co.za.
I like to sell it, but want a good price for it. Where can I sell it? I'd like to sell it. I'd like to sell it. I'd like
Whoa. You want to sell your car?
Yes.
Okay.
Why do you ask?
Well, because we'd like to buy it. 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 You want to sell it? We want to buy it. We buy cars. The best way to sell your car by far.
Success looks different for all of us. What we do have in common is our eagerness for a brighter tomorrow. A tomorrow where parents' hope becomes a child's reality. A tomorrow where success is not just owning a degree, it's owning the pathway to the rest of your life. Own tomorrow with Richfield. Study an undergraduate or postgraduate degree online on campus at Bryanston, Newtown, Centurion or Pretoria. Apply today at richfield.ac.za.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
What about the Burnley coach, though? Vincent Kompany says that Bafana star Lyle Foster is not in a position to play in the forthcoming Africa Cup of Nations in the Ivory Coast. This comes after Foster, who in November took an indefinite break from football to receive specialist care for his mental health.
Unfortunately, at the moment, he's not in a position where he can go to the national team. He just can't. You know, his love for his country has no limits, and his desire to do well has no limits, but that would be going against the advice of every expert that has been assisting him in recent months.
That's the instruction coming through, so no AFCON for him.
#MSW. #MSW.
Good evening, Mr. Marawa. Ukhuluma noSibongelelo kaMkhwani kaMgqayi Mathafeni. Welcome back, Bhuti Mdala. After a long break, you know, we were missing you a lot. But I'm very happy that you are back. But today, I think our main focus will be in the Bafana team, which are playing against Mali later today. And I think, Mr. Marawa, it's time now to stop criticizing, because nothing will change now. The coach has selected the team. For us as supporters, is just to give them the support that they need from us, so that they can do well in the tournament and make us proud. I wish them to do well and go on and maybe reach the quarterfinals or semis.
Yoi, Sibongeleni, thank you so much indeed for your first WhatsApp voice note of the year. Quarterfinals or the semifinals? How realistic is that? Because as much as he's optimistic, listen to this.
Good evening, Rob, New Year's compliment and listeners.
According to my speculations about winning, about the game tonight, Bafana Bafana, I'm very, very skeptical that we might do well. Since the captain of the ship, Hugo Broos himself, he's not too sure. He's got too many issues, got too many complaints, and he's complaining that he's not getting any support from the local coaches and from SAFA. There's a lot of issues. I don't think we will make it. I think it will be better if we exit early so that he can leave the job. That's the only thing that can help us. That's all.
We need to exit early because there are a lot of issues around Bafana Bafana's coach Hugo Broos, Morocco Swallows GM, African football analyst Elasto Kapawenza was also here with me in studio for the very first time in 2024. Elasto, good to see you. Welcome.
Thanks for having me. Greetings to our listeners.
You know what? When you hear that voice note and it says, let's exit and exit early because Coach Hugo Broos has got too many issues. Do you agree with that?
No, definitely not. Bafana has qualified for this tournament. They've earned their spot at the 2023 AFCON tournament. They must be given an opportunity. They deserve to be there, Rob. I understand that there are some that are not happy with certain things, but it's a Bafana that is ready to do better against Mali. They've got a chance. If you look at their last performance in 2019, all the way to the quarterfinals. So yes, Bafana has to be given that opportunity to take the field and to do well in this tournament. Everything is for them, Rob, to try to push and get to where they were last time around.
Where can they get to, realistically? Because there's hope. Somebody says a quarterfinal, semi-final. Hugo Broos believes because of his history of winning it. I mean, you just got to look at his performance as a coach with Cameroon. And I think that's how he got to get the Bafana job, was on the back of that. Yeah. But given the arsenal that he has, sorry, excuse the pun, not talking about your team, but given the arsenal that he has in terms of the player power with him right now, can he do that? Because for me, it's about the last 16 as a first hurdle. Possibilities
are galore when it comes to him getting to the last 16. Remember, Rob, qualification, number one. Number two, if you can't get those two places in the group that Bafana is, then there's also that opportunity of being one of the best runners-up, third place side. So Bafana, yes, has got an opportunity to get to the last 16. The tournament actually begins at the last 16. That is where now you might find that, yes, there you can be able to see which direction you can take. So it's not so much of a wide rope where Bafana is to qualify from this group. Yes, the likes of Tunisia, Mali tonight will be there to be dealt with. But 16, to get to the last 16, get to the quarterfinals, I feel that Bafana, at the very least, should be able to get to the quarterfinals. Anything less than that, I think it's a huge, big failure on the part of Bafana. They do have the arsenal, like we've mentioned. Yes, it's predominantly your local side. 20 of those players playing their trade in South Africa out of the 23 that were selected. One of the sides that have got so many players, playing on the African continent. But again, if you look at the dominance of those local players coming from Sundowns, you look at what Sundowns has done, you look at the strength of the PSL itself, you might say these players know each other, understand one another, as opposed to what we'd see from other countries that you have to get players from all over the world and try to make a team. So there are a little bit of advantages that Bafana would carry into this, not so much about having a lot of players playing outside of the country. 1996, you see, it's a good example. Egypt as well, when they won this tournament more than 7 times, you could see that it was predominantly players that were coming from the likes of Al Ahly and so forth. So it might be an advantage that we are talking about the Bafana side, that is so many players that are playing in Africa.
All right, we'll zero in on Bafana in depth as well. As we head towards the top of the hour, there's also going to be a live crossing that we will have to the stadium itself, where there is South African representation that is over there. But maybe a quick look. I made mention of the game that's going to be coming up next. Now, our neighbors, Namibia, they get to play against Tunisia. Do we give any hope to Namibia? I think you mentioned last year that the Namibians, given the spread of players that are playing here in South Africa, always have that advantage. And it's actually hard to digest the fact that Tunisia, as great as they are, last won the Africa Cup of Nations back in 2004 when they were hosting it.
Yeah, I think if you look at Mozambique, when they played against Egypt, played very well, and we get to see now Namibia playing against Tunisia, and I think the confidence that the players have, and also showing from the likes of Mozambique that listen, it's only the big names that we're playing against, but if we want to perform, we can perform. So I think if you look at Namibia, I think the guy that everybody will be looking at is Shalulile. I think for him, it's going to rub on to his teammates that listen, we can do it. I've played in the CAF Champions League, playing against some of these guys. So I think they also they've got a possibility of upsetting Tunisia.
Been talking about Peter Shalulile, Rulani Mukwena. I think this was towards the end of last year. Was full of praise, and of course he has to be.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Coming back home, though, the Mamelodi Sundowns coach Rulani Mukwena is confident that striker Peter Shalulile can break a long-standing PSL record. It has now surpassed the club legend Daniel Mudau and also the current Golden Arrows coach Mabudi Kanyeza, who both scored 110 goals. He is now 12 goals behind legendary striker Siyabonga Nomvete, who scored 123 goals.
Very proud of Peter, but of course, these type of achievements don't. Someone must give you an assist. The reality is, what he's achieved is not only just about him, but also about the contribution of the collective. You know, when we're looking for people to pray, where's Peter? Even when I'm going through difficulties, I sometimes pick up the phone and I say, please pray for me, put me in your prayers. You know, because it seems like God, he has a direct line to God. You know.
Hashtag MSW. Hashtag MSW.
You know what, guys? We might be hyping up this Bafana Bafana game. We might be having our expectations about this Bafana Bafana game, but, you know, social media is reminding me that there might be a little bit of a problem come that time at about 10 o'clock, is that of load shedding. It's something you and I can't do anything about. It's just a reality where people are reminding me that, guys, the luxury of rugby is not here anymore. Where, you know, load shedding disappeared completely, only to see it 2 days after we lifted the Rugby World Cup trophy.
Let's just hope that we're going to watch the game in peace.
Get close to a place where there's a generator. There's always a solution.
I've been talking about solutions. That's exactly what we are looking for right here. And a lot of you are sending us your WhatsApp voice notes. It's a studio panel par excellence. We promised you more from them last year, and they're back again in 2024.
So, Marawa, good evening. It's Impure X here from Tembisa. Compliments of the new season, sir. Welcome back. Of course, we anticipating tonight's match, Mali against Bafana Bafana. We anticipating nothing other than a win. So, yeah, we'll be glued up on our screens come 10 p.m. All the best. Thank you, sir.
Impure X, thank you so much indeed. Valuable insights as far as Bafana Bafana is concerned, but also wishing them everything of the best.
Good evening, Robert. Halala. Robert, I was of the mentality that Bafana Bafana are on vacation. But given the standard of all nations there, I realized that Bafana stand a good chance. All that they need to do is to attack, which is the form of getting results. They must not play that slow soccer. So we need a win. I wish them all of the best.
Slow soccer. Timothy, are they guilty of that?
No, I think Southern football has got its uniqueness. So for me, if you look at how Mozambique applied themselves against Egypt, and should Bafana, adapt into their own skill and ability, they are able to harm Mali. Yes, I did vote for Mali to go all the way because they are always, underperforming. Should they get out into the top tier, I think they'll really harm Bafana. But for me, going forward, Southern region.
No, you can't go forward. You can't. Not after you've said they will hammer Bafana if they do get into a rhythm. Break it down to us, because it goes back to our conversation last year when we wrapped up and we were throwing forward to this new year and the AFCON, and you talked very glowingly about Mali. Remind us why they stand as your personal favorites for the tournament.
Look, they've got a history, good development structures, and they have produced some of the great players. You're looking about I think the father of Keita and Keita, the son playing for Barcelona coming through. So they have always performed so well. And I'm looking at the Bafana side for the, let me say, past 6 AFCONs. They have hardly scored more than 1 goal. The first time they scored more than 1 goal was, I think, in 2013 AFCON. So they have got a shot on scoring goals. And you're looking at where they're going to get all these goals coming from to try and hurt this fully fledged attacking team of Mali. Between Mali and Bafana, I think the team that is going to, embrace to keep the ball more will hurt, the other more often. But I think the team, Mali, they have got the ability to, to try and get onto the top gear. So for me, the tactical and organizational ability of Bafana will give problems to Mali.
Yeah, I think if you look at it, if you look at Bafana,
yeah,
my main guy is Temba Ungapres Zwane. As long as he plays, because he detects the pace. He detects the pace, and whenever he is playing, everyone or the whole team plays around him.
He who was not the favorite.
He's now the favorite.
He is the favorite now.
He's now the favorite.
So now when the listener says that slow game, and that's how Temba Zwane is. You cannot make him play fast because that's his style of play.
No, I think.
And then
I think Rob, just to come into what Ed is talking about, we might be addressing the issue of the style of play. How does Bafana have to play, looking at the dominance and the prominence of the Mamelodi Sundowns players? Because if you look at your Zwane, the way you are mentioning him, it's a certain way that Bafana is to play in order to bring the best out of him. We are talking about now that build-up from the back that we all are accustomed to when we see Sundowns playing. Is that going to be applicable in the Bafana setup? Because it's no use for you to play route one football or long balls, as you put it, or direct play if you've got those kind of players. So that is where now the question would be, does Bafana revolve or build up this kind of style of play around Mamelodi Sundowns, or it's a copy and paste what has been successful when you look at what Sundowns has done on the African continent?
But he's got no choice, though. At the end of the day, he's got no choice. It's almost like a footprint of what Spain did when Barcelona were untouchable, was to build that. I think
look, Rob,
World Cup 2010 would be testimony to that.
Look, Rob, I think football is moments.
Yeah.
Fans will talk about it is slow, it is very fast, but there are those moments. If, for example, Zwane has got a chance to have an extra touch on the ball, it gives a chance to the likes of Tau to find those pockets behind the defense to get into those positions to be passed onto the ball. So there are moments. If the game is highly paced, the pace will go up. But for me, what is important is to play their own game. Force Mali to play their own game. The team that's going to force and impose themselves to play comfortably is going to hurt the opponent. Don't allow to play, Mali's way of comfortability on the ball. You're going to be punished.
But then, guys, help me here. How important is it? And I'm hearing all of your points regarding the team, but how important is experience? You touched on you, brother, I think Andre, more than anybody else. That is experience at AFCON level. But how important is AFCON experience generally for individual Bafana players that are part of this team right now? Because if you go back again, Egypt 2019 with Stuart Baxter, Percy Tau, Ronan Williams, Temba Zwane, as you mentioned. After that, my well runs dry. I can't think of anybody else. So there'll be a lot of new tournament comers into this particular competition. Is it a plus? Is it a minus? Unknown entity versus experience.
If I can come in as well, Rob, there, and it's a question that I also was pondering on.
Yeah.
And when I watched the likes of Senegal, I watched Algeria, and I was like, this is the very same team that I saw in 2019, that I saw in 2021. The nucleus of the side is always there. But for Bafana, there's been so many changes, and I can tell you that is a negative. It doesn't augur well for the side that has got newcomers, a lot of them. And that is the problem at times with some of these national teams, that it tends to be new faces every time. But look at your Senegal. The nucleus of the team does not change. They will bring one or two, your cameras would come in. But I can tell you, you can, with your eyes closed, you can tell who's the back four, who's the goalkeeper for Senegal, who is the striking force. But you don't see that for Bafana. So that, yes, might actually work against Bafana. But again, you might say that, yes, it's always good to also introduce new players, but you can't introduce too many of them.
Well, I was going to say then, can anybody here tell me anything about what they think will form the spine of the team? Find out.
Africa Cup of Nations, Cote d'Ivoire 23, up-to-the-minute, concise and reliable updates with Robert Marawa. Hashtag MSW AFCON.
Yellow Josie, it's Betway SA20 time again. Welcome to Highveld Summers, where the music is pumping, open stands bouncing, and another Fab Century is loading. Join the vibe and bring family and friends to watch Gerald, Maureen, and Donovan set a bull ring alight. Get your tickets today at sa20.co.za. Betway SA20. Welcome to Incredible.
Saving money is easy when you're naked. See, when you're naked, you do insurance online. And because we use AI, you get the best possible car insurance price up front without having to negotiate with anyone on the phone. If you like the price, you can sign up instantly with just a click. So visit naked.insure now, get a car insurance quote in 90 seconds, and see what you could save when you get naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP.
There are few things as pleasurable as that moment to yourself after a busy day. What is your bitter lacquer hour? Relaxing after a round of padel or tennis? Sitting back with a paper on your flight from Jersey to Cape Town? A leisurely moment for a game of chess? These little pleasures are our life's joy. Bitter lacquer is made for this bitter lacquer hour, a non-alcoholic aperitif that is more than lacquer. Made from Babylon's Turin blood oranges, a hint of rosemary and honeybush tea. Available on the farm, in selected stores and online, with free delivery nationwide.
It's a crisis, they scream. Grab what you got and go. Sell up. Cut your losses. Run for the hills. And, tempting as it may sound, often the best thing to do is to stop. Stop and count to 5. Stop and catch your breath. Stop and think. The logic is simple, yet very effective. And it prevents the one thing you should always avoid. Panic. Because panic is what can turn a temporary loss into a real one. It's why we never allow the mood of the day to influence the way we invest for tomorrow. Because a great long-term decision made calmly will always outlast an emotional one. Ellen Gray, long-term investing. Ellen Gray is an authorized FSP.
Before you sell your car, be really sure. Before you go too far, be really sure. Be really sure. Be really sure. Before you sell it short and realize you've been caught. Before you sell your car, be really sure. Be really sure.
Get multiple offers and the best cash price when selling your car. Go to wheelie.co.za or the new Midstream Megastore for the best offer and instant payment.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Legends of the game, Doc Kumalo, Majans Mutale, Debza Boloi are here. So you know that Doc fell in love with somebody that he saw on television who used to play tennis.
Gabriel
Sabatini.
Oh. Manolo Pila. Oh, yeah. We were starstruck. Gabriela was sitting right like here at the end.
Yeah.
We couldn't even eat our meat and company. Even Marcelo said, hey, you play boys, come on, eat. We said to Marcelo, easy, you will eat.
I mean, we almost lost you then to Argentinian people.
And those guys, they don't compromise. But shy Spanish. Yini nyama in Spanish. Yo, Kosiam. Yes, man. Ngati, Mr. Nazluma wrist. Meat. They go like magic.
But it's Spanish though.
Yeah, but
we want some meat.
But what I had for lunch, it was carne con pollo. Beef and mashed potato.
Oh.
So carne con papa fritos, it's my chips.
Hashtag MSW.
Hashtag MSW.
Marawa Sports Worldwide, covering Africa Cup of Nations Cote d'Ivoire 23. All of the action, all of the time. Hashtag MSW AFCON.
All right, before we go live now to the Amadou Gon Coulibaly Stadium in Cote d'Ivoire, where Mto Dube is standing by to chat to us. Let me just take you back, though, because these are some of the things that we wish never ever happen again. And it's good to know that the president of CAF, Patrice Motsepe, has been talking about the fact that he's pretty satisfied with the measures that have been taken by Cote d'Ivoire to avoid a repeat of that stampede that led to deaths of 8 people outside the Africa Cup of Nations 2022 football game in Cameroon.
One of the most painful moments for me was to have to go and visit those families in Cameroon, and to look at every one of them in the eyes and knowing that they lost their loved ones. So it's something we take very seriously. And I was told that there's 15,000, I don't think I'm breaching any confidence, 15,000 security and police that are there to help, because the Cameroon accident was avoidable. It was absolutely avoidable. And I can't agree more with you. For as long as I'm president of CAF, whether I know or don't know, whether I'm aware or I'm not aware, I ultimately have to take responsibility for anything that happens within CAF, and I'm accountable. I'm satisfied that the appropriate steps have been taken to correctly make sure that we totally avoid the really painful experience we had in Cameroon, where we lost the lives of some of our people.
Could agree more. Absolutely important as well, the safety of fans.
MSW live action from Amadou Gon Coulibaly Stadium in Korocho. Hashtag MSW AFCON.
That's exactly where we're heading off to now, the Amadou Gon Coulibaly Stadium. That's where Umthokozisi Dube is standing by, Far Post editor, coming through live for us on all the action just before Bafana take to the field at 10 o'clock South African time. Mto, good to have you on the line. I am sure you're enjoying Cote d'Ivoire. Paint a picture for us.
Good evening, Rob, and good evening to the listeners. Look, when I'm enjoying, but I'm sweating. It's the temperatures are so high, 36 degrees.
Oh.
So yeah, really extremely hot conditions here. But look, it's been quite a good tournament so far. I think where we are in Korocho, it's obviously a very small town, just about 500 kilometers from Abidjan, fairly quiet, not too much traffic like Abidjan. Abidjan was crazy traffic there. But here it's a bit quiet, but obviously about 6 hours from Bamako. So you'd imagine the stadium will be full of Malians who've traveled. I mean, at the hotel where we're staying, there's so many Malians, and they've been saying to me, hey, we'll sort you out tonight.
Well, that'll make Timothy Batabaria very happy here, because he believes that Mali are going to go all the way to the final and even lift the trophy. That's his prediction. Would you agree? What are you getting? What sense, though, Mto, are you getting about this Malian team and what their potential is?
Look, I think it's quite an interesting team. I mean, they've got quite a number of players that I feel are worth watching closely for Bafana Bafana. I think one of their biggest players, obviously, is Bissouma, who plays for Tottenham. I think such a great midfielder that they have, but probably they have quite a number of injuries going into this tournament. Which may actually work in our favor. There's quite a number of players who are not going to be, part of, this particular tournament. But I think when you look at our record against them, I think we've played them in the AFCON in the finals twice, and they've won in both those occasions. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how we then fare, today.
Any news? Because we've been speculating here, and I've got legends of the game here. From Elasto Capoenza, Timothy Batabaira is here, Edabadinia is here, and we were speculating about what potentially Hugo Broos will put out for the first game for South Africa tonight. Any news, any team news, any starting 11? You've got your contacts. I trust you.
Yeah, look, I think from what I've gathered, so he's obviously, Ronwen, we saw him training yesterday, looks, sharp. So Ronwen obviously starts in goals, and at right back, it most likely would be Khuliso Mudau. And then on the left, he's likely to go with Aubrey Mudiba, and then central defense, Matubi Mvala. I was actually watching him yesterday to see if he's fit, because there were concerns last week, but he looked very sharp at training yesterday. So Matubi starting in central defense with Sianda Tulu, and then the midfield. Is pretty much obvious. Tebogo Mokoena, Pepelo Stole, Chembazwane, and I think the biggest surprise that we could have in this starting lineup, I think, would be the Thapelo Masego starting on the left, on the left wing, and Pesi, coming from the right, and then Evidence Mahupa most likely playing is number 9. So I think that's how he's likely to line up. But the biggest surprise for me would obviously be, the Thapelo Masego, starting the game.
Okay. Don't go anywhere, Mto, because these gentlemen here are also itching to get into that. When you hear that potential, and let's say it does happen, that Maseko does start, gentlemen, what does that say? What is it saying about the unpredictable nature of Bafana Bafana stepping into this tournament, and more importantly, for their very first game?
I think I'm happy, especially with the back four.
Yeah.
Because it's the guys that play together. So I think which goes now to what you had asked earlier on, that the experience of AFCON, does it count in this? And then I would say these guys have been playing together for CAF champions for a long time. So now the understanding and get to know each other is very key, especially in the back four. So whatever that Rowan does, or whoever, whether it's Aubrey or Mudau, whatever that, the other ones, it triggers now to the other ones to say, okay, if Mudau goes, then we have to cover. Or how they cover each other, it's very key. So they understand each other, they know each other very well. So I'm happy with the back four. And as I had said, that Temba, I would love Temba to play. And then he's the one that I said that normally detects how the whole team plays.
Yeah.
And Pesitov plays for Adli, and he played for Sundowns. So basically, they understand.
Sundowns.
So the DNA still remains.
The DNA is still
okay.
It's still there. Then we have sorry, Mr. Kapoli.
Yes.
And then we have Maseko too.
Yes.
Listen.
I think for me, Rob, I wanted to ask Mto. I couldn't help but notice that there's that physical presence from some of these West African sides. How does he see it, penning up in the game, looking at Bafana or even Southern African sides that are not so much physical imposing? Would that be an advantage, and is there a way that Bafana can go around it? Because I've just seen most of these teams in Africa, they tend to be so physical and really so difficult to manage when it comes to set plays. But I think there's a certain way that Bafana can also do it to be able to maybe to counter that. What does he think in terms of that?
Great question, Mto.
Yeah, look, I think, you're right that they are a very physical side, but we don't really, our players are not as physical as they are. So we can't match them at that. I think we need to obviously play our own game, make use of the pace, particularly in attack, make use of the pace of Thapelo Masego, pace it down on the left. But also, try as much. I know Thapelo can take on defenders, he's got his pace, but that final ball, would be very important, in terms of creating chances for Evidence, and hopefully we can get goals. But we obviously can't match them when it comes to physicality, and we just need to play our game, our passing game, and make use of that pace on the wing.
Yeah, I think we can't forget that incident that involved Lutzrunyan. And now he was just lifted, by the edge of his shorts. So when you talk about physicality, that image always comes through. Tim, you haven't had a bite at this one since Mto kind of gave us a bit of a shape of what things could be like for Bafana Bafana tonight.
Look, for me, the best way to try and contain, and if you look how they are setting up the Bafana squad, I'm happy with the back four, like Eddie is saying. But more importantly is the calmness of Williams in goals. Once you have got a calm goalkeeper who is comfortable to play out from the back, who is getting that chance to cool the team and know when to play. The combination of play of Zwane and Mukwena comes into play. If Mukwena is being requested to a little bit sit, a little bit delay those adventurous movements forward, it gives a chance to the likes of Zwane to get adventurous in those areas to try and pick the likes of Tower in those movements. I think that will give them balance. Then we have got Mudau. He has to be a little bit more tactically disciplined when it comes to his desire to go forward, because in this moment in time, at this level, it's easy for any tactically astute opponent to pick up the gap that is being left behind.
Does it not come back quickly enough? Is that your concern about him?
If you look the way he plays at Sundowns, they always have the ball, so it gives them a chance to track back and join the backline. So what is happening is, at such a level, the quick play into those spaces will force the centre half to be forced to go and try and cover that side, exposing the middle part of the middle of goal for William. So that adjustment and discipline to try and cover those gaps when each and of them moves is very key in that moment in time. So the aspects of covering the likes of Mukwena when Mudawa has gone upfield and the centre half is very crucial at this moment in time. But as long as they are comfortable to play off the opponents, avoid immediate contact. If there is contact, try to use it to your advantage, that you get those players, the Mali players, into fouling you into the dangerous areas, and then you can have the likes of Mukwena to have a go at the goal.
Towards this, I'm going to give you the opportunity just to sum it up for us as we head to the top of the hour. Tonight, Bafana, Hugo Broos, big occasion. We had spoken as well earlier in the show, saying that for Hugo Broos, he is told everybody that if he doesn't do well in this tournament, it's curtains for him. It's going to be goodbye to the national team, goodbye to the job. Do you feel that the players that he would have selected have got that fighting spirit? Number one, to fight for the country. Number two, to fight for the coach.
Look, I think I was actually just observing yesterday, at training, after reading the article that came out in a Belgian publication where you were saying he no longer conducts training sessions, his assistant does. And that's exactly how it is, it does make sense that if things don't go well, he probably would want to leave. But I feel he's picked a group of players whom he trusts. I think the emphasis last week where he said that he would rather take Mvala, an injured Mvala, to AFCON so that he refines, he recovers, he tells you that he trusts the guy. We've had questions about certain players, but he said, listen, I trust this player. I want him in the squad. So he trusts the players that he's brought, and I believe that if they apply themselves well today, they could actually, start off well, start the tournament well, and when they play Namibia over the weekend, they then obviously try and secure, a place beyond the group stages. So looking quite positive.
All right, looking forward to it. Togozi said, not the last time we're going to be chatting to you. You're going to be our eyes and ears, I'm sure, for the tournament and our live crossings. Far Post editor live from the Amadou Gon Coulibaly Stadium in Korogo in Ivory Coast. But thank you so much indeed, man. Enjoy the game tonight.
Thank you so much, Rob.
Appreciate it. Thank you very, very much indeed. All I want from you, gentlemen, because we got to go, is just score. From your side, Lasto, final score, Bafana, Mali?
2-1 to Bafana.
2-1 Bafana. Thank you. Eddie?
1-0 to Bafana.
1-0 to Bafana. Timothy?
3-1 Mali.
Hey! He's bringing his analytical side to the table. He's not bringing any heart. He's not bringing any emotion. He's bringing his analysis. And I love it for that. Edible Dinia, thank you so much indeed. We know what he's done on the football field before. I'm not going to go back to that. Shumba Football Development, African football analyst. That's him right now. Elasto Kapawenza, Swallows GM, African football analyst. Would love to talk Swallows with him one of these days. Timothy Batabaira as well, TB Consults Chairman, African football analyst. Gentlemen, thank you so much indeed. As we said, we are going to be tracking everything that happens on the African continent with AFCON this year. Appreciate it. See you soon.
MSW Live Action from Amadou Gon Stadium in Koroho. #MSW AFCON.